I was sort of the black sheep of Westside Barbell, which is a group of black sheep, and I was sort of not included in that group. I was a satellite member. I've been challenged to several fights at that gym, and I always responded by, that's not going to prove how strong you are. If you can beat me up, that doesn't mean you bench more than me. And I got work to do, so maybe when I'm done, I'll meet you in the parking lot. But right now, I just got work to do. I got somebody to beat. I'm JM Blakley, and I'm an elite FTS columnist and coach. Very simply, I had the idyllic childhood. I had every advantage known to man. I had professors for grandparents and veterans for uncles and father, and all the love that any child could ever wish for. I had a pony. I grew up on a farm. I was the kid in school that had a pony. So, and my parents were unconditional supporters and provided unconditional love for me. So I was encouraged to do anything my heart desired. I wasn't told I could be anything in the world, but I was told that they would support me if I tried this or that, and they encouraged me to try a whole bunches of things, and they provided opportunities. So I look at my childhood from my grandparents to my parents, and I don't have any siblings, but my experience as a child, damn right I should have made something out of myself, because I was afforded every opportunity. I got a great education. We were very poor, but I had no knowledge of that because I had all the things that the other kids in school had, it seemed. I learned how to work hard on the farm. 80% of our meals came from the garden. We had 20 head of beef steer, so we were self-sufficient, and I didn't know I was poor until high school. I had riches, but not those kind of riches that you can buy stuff with. My riches are other riches. I often wonder to myself if I have lived up to all of that preparatory privilege. I'm from the Youngstown area originally, moved down to Columbus for 30 years, originally to coach the Ohio State Buckeyes as assistant strength coach under Earl Bruce, and then found out that Columbus has so much opportunity that it was really hard to move anywhere else. The opportunities, especially in lifting, fitness, and the university kept giving me free degrees, so I couldn't say no. Literally, didn't want to say no. I kept learning for free, and I tried to move away once to LA, and then I came scurrying back quickly. And unfortunately, I had a back surgery, and I had great aspirations to do all three lifts and to compete in strongman, and it's so unfortunate that I didn't get a chance for me. And it's very fortunate for all the lifters that I would have beaten, because the same muscle and genetics that are in my upper body muscles are also in my lower body muscles. So they should be quite thankful that I had a back injury and chose only the bench. But the bench was the gateway, because when my back was hurt, I lost all of the ability to play all the sports and do a lot of the lifts in the gym. The only lift I could do comfortably was lay flat on my back and push. It's just that Dave had a degree and I had a degree in sports, and so there was something for us to talk about. Whereas I didn't have a lot in common with a lot of those guys. It occurred to me earlier this year that when I was describing my time at Westside, that I was sort of the black sheep of Westside Barbell, which is a group of black sheep, and I was sort of not included in that group. I was a satellite member. I only benched. I never squatted, I never deadlifted. And at that time, I was about the only athlete that would travel overseas. Now, there was a few women that did, and they were occasional, but I did it regularly. And so I was sort of the face of Westside Barbell overseas for a while, for a couple years. And that was valuable to the club, because there was definitely a following overseas, but no Westside guys would ever train over there. So because I did that, and because I was winning, Lou decided to let me, kind of hover. And so that was my in to the Westside Barbell. And so I didn't have a lot to talk about with a lot of the guys. And quite frankly, a lot of them were my competitors. So they didn't really want to talk to me. And Dave and I would be cordial and talk, whereas a lot of the guys would just be, I've been challenged to several fights at that gym. And I always responded by, that's not going to prove how strong you are. If you can beat me up, that doesn't mean you bench more than me. And I got work to do, so maybe when I'm done, I'll meet you in the parking lot. But right now, I just got work to do. I got somebody to be. So there was a little bit of friction with me. I was not well received by all the people, but Dave did. He didn't have any problem with me there, and so we had, and that wasn't with everybody. That was the connection. I wasn't there to prove my masculinity. I don't even prove my masculinity through lifting. That's just something I want to do to challenge myself. What I see and what I believe about sports in general, but I'll just talk about this sport. If I'm going to leave a legacy in this sport, it's a dearth of information about mental and spiritual training. And I found that so necessary for me to go where I went. And all everyone seems to want to talk about is what sets and reps are you doing? And what's your programming? And what are your percentages? And what exercises do you choose? Those are great, and we've had those for a long, long time. And there's lots of good ways. And nobody talks about the mental side of things. But everybody will tell you how important it is. Everyone agrees that there's a mental and a physical side of every game, and they're both necessary. And then every coach will tell you that I spend X amount of hours on the field and in the gym and 0 hours training the mind of my kids. And so if I have any impact that really lasts, it won't be what I lifted. It won't be the sets and reps. I hope that it is the insistence that coaches and athletes and self-coached athletes begin to do more inner work. I train everyone from the inside out because I learned that myself. That's where the strength is. The body will just follow what the mind and the spirit tell it to do. So if every motion is started with your brain. Your cerebral cortex sends so the muscles follow the cerebral cortex. So it's true to say that the mind comes first. So I always like to say, I have different ways to put it, but everything has to happen from the inside out. You have to believe it first before you do it. Things of that nature. You start not on what you can see. You start on the things that people can't see. And the stronger you make that, the stronger the things on the outside will become. And I have never seen that fail. I've never seen that be wrong. Never. I've never seen somebody who is mentally and spiritually strong not also be physically strong, if they choose to be, right? So that would be a nice legacy.